Hello and welcome back. Today we're going to be dealing with the subject of anti-Semitism on campus. Yes, I said anti-Semitism and not anti-Israel, because the reality is that it's disintegrated to such an extent today that it really is anti-Semitism. And it's not only myself that refers to it, but in fact all the studies that are undertaken, including one by Brandeis University, indicates that it really is anti-Semitism on campus. And it's fascinating to see where exactly is the heart of the anti-Semitism, where are the main culprits, which universities. And it will shock you to know that Columbia is up there as number one. You've got Cornell, you've got UCLA, you've got Vassar, Loyola in Chicago. Very good universities with excellent reputations, except the reality is that today they are filled and hostile, with a hostility against Jews and, of course, by extension, the Jewish state. I remember when Israel's apartheid was first introduced, and the prototype was done at the University of Toronto. And I went with some of my colleagues, and we met with the leadership of the University of Toronto, and we pleaded with them to disallow this because we indicated, and we used this terminology, that Pandora's box is being opened for anti-Semitism. They were livid. They said absolutely not. They would rethink it. And then someone from the Jewish community said it's a matter of freedom of speech, and Israel apartheid was introduced to the world. At that time, I was called a fearmonger. Sadly, what we had predicted became the truth. We must also begin to realize that we are losing the battle on campus.
The issue is that we do experience a lot of anti-Semitism in a lot of different ways.
To be completely honest with you, being against Israel, has become the cool thing to do.
I go to Kent State University. There's a professor there that calls his students his little jihadists. He's on a terrorist watch list.
We had a birthright table that was protested, and people, there was, tears afterwards. There was a lot of people crying. It was brutal.
Anti-Semitism has definitely affected my college career, whether it be the swastikas that were drawn on our mailbox or our anti-Semitic president of the student body.
There are people running for political office that are delivering letters to students around the university, and some of these people running for office are running on campaigns of "with Jews you lose."
What happened to me last semester, March 2nd, I remember the date, I always will. This guy came up to our house and he tried to come in with alcohol. I don't know who he is. I'm not going to let someone in. It's a risk. I tell him politely to leave. At that point, he starts backing off with his hand raised, saluting Hitler. He runs into a house right next to our house and comes out with 20 guys. At that point, I see that a fight is about to start. I, as president, run over to stop their progress from going to our house with a couple other guys, and I start talking. We don't want to fight, we don't want anything like that, nothing like that at all. And at that point, I am struck from behind and knocked unconscious. I don't really remember much after that. I know I was hospitalized. I was in the hospital for 3 weeks, ICU for 10 days. I had a skull fracture, lower back fracture, bleeding in the brain, and a concussion.
There was about 800 of them on one side, and there was about 6 of us on the other side. And 50 of them crossed over the road and actually got on their faces, started yelling kill the Jews, Hitler was right, and started saying baby killer and stuff. And then we just started kind of getting attacked. I had a concussion, my sister was punched in the face. The group that actually hosted that rally is actually a group on our campus. For my life, I'm constantly in paranoid, watching behind me.
Orthodox friends, he won't wear a kippah anymore. He always wore a kippah. And the first thing he said is why do you not have your kippah on? Because I'm afraid to walk around with that.
At UMBC, it's a lot of hate rhetoric going on about free Palestine. Go back to Israel, you effing Jews, and it's been a lot of graffiti even on the bathroom walls. You can see it everywhere.
It's institutionalized. It's a tenet of what we deal with. It's every day.
And a recent study from Brandeis indicated that Canadian universities have a great amount of anti-Semitism on the campuses. We should not attempt to cover it up, but we have to change our tactics. We have to become proactive. We can't just be defensive. There's a great deal that we can become proactive on. We have to identify our enemy. We have to expose them. We have to say who exactly is the entity in the world today that is inflaming and engulfing the world in such turmoil. What are the democracies? Where are the democracies in the Arab world? Women's rights, gay rights, and the list goes on. We have to be on the defensive, on the attack, because we've been only on the defensive, and it certainly hasn't worked. Bagel and lox, breakfasts, hummus parties simply don't work anymore. In fact, they never did. Thank you.